Hi everybody, this is Anna7. I am making a video today. First of all, peace and blessings. Thank you for watching. Today's topic that I want to discuss is about spiritual maturity. Um the reason why I picked this topic is because truth seekers go from path from unconscious thinking to conscious thinking. Um, Basically, they follow a calling or desire to want to know the truth about existence, the truth about themselves. Truth seekers are naturally curious individuals, and they are also individuals that do not settle for what they're told. Um, Using myself as an example, when I began truth seeking, it was because I wasn't finding all of the answers to the questions that I had deep down in my spirit in organized religion. I had looked other places for it as far as other religions other than Christianity, Hinduism, Wahhabism, and I was finding many aspects of the truth of the answer, but I wasn't entirely. Y'all gotta excuse me. I'm trying to adjust my laptop. I wasn't finding the absolute truths. I refused to believe that these truths were unattainable due to the limited resources of being a human being. Not when I had faith in a God that was limitless. So I began seeking truth. So spiritual maturity is the ability to control one's consciousness. This moves past the level of truth seeking to the fact that you've already found the absolute truth, or either a strong concrete evidence of absolute truths. Knowing that the absolute truth is that God is everything, love, everything, and our existence is a dream of consciousness being the ability to recognize God in its own self. If you have not gotten there yet, just because you know the truth or the absolute truth or aspects of the truth does not mean that your journey ends there. If you are a truth seeker, I encourage you to never think that you have found all the knowledge that there is to know about truth seeking or about spirituality or about God and the existence of the divine mind and the infinite creator, because the possibilities of knowledge are infinite as well. But spiritual maturity is characterized by the ability to control one's own consciousness. This is the ability to not only operate inside of daily consciousness, but to operate outside of daily consciousness, existing as the ever present awareness, existing as the mind's eye, while coexisting as the mind and the functions of the mind, body, and spirit. But also, if you exist outside of this as the awareness, you actually become the engineer to the functionalities of the mind, the body, and the spirit. It's actually probably the hardest thing to do, is to become the engineer of the functionalities of the body, because the body has such autonomic functionalities, but you can shift your awareness to the inner functionings of the body through your mind's eye. You can also shift your awareness to be able to control the levels of truth that you experience, the levels of truth that you involve and integrate and feed into, physically and mentally. The way that happens is basically thoughts. How you are so aware of your thought processes and your thought patterns that you are able to eliminate the thought processes that have any value, no value, and are able to amplify and store in your mind the thought processes that are necessary for evolution of the mind, body, and spirit. If you are able to do that, then you are increasing in your evolution of mind, body, and spirit. As your spirit is developing and your spiritual growth is developing, spiritual development is the process of analyzing everything that you are aware of in a true and unbiased sense. I want to get into that phrase for a moment. Spiritual development, the process of analyzing everything that you are aware of. This is everything in your 360 that is you are looking at in your eyes, and everything that you bring into your mind's eye and let settle as thoughts and memories. The act of unconditioning is present, where you're seeing the systems that are dropped into your awareness that you did not consciously put in there, that you put in there by being an active participant in society. These systems are the preconceived notions of just the reality that you are surrounded by. Once you realize that reality is an illusion, but you also are part of that illusion because you live in that illusion and you exist in that illusion, you can navigate that illusion better by staying aware of it and above it. I'll give you some examples. The system of money, of having to work to be able to live, to be able to survive, to be able to feed your body. It's a system, and it's a system that you cannot get outside of. You can, as you become aware that you have more options than the ones that were told to you. For instance, if you live in the city, your option that was programmed into you is to go to school, go to college, get a job. If you live in the country, your system might be to live off of the land and produce money that way. But these systems become entrapping because you begin to see what you see as the only reality available to you. If you are put in the system of living, being raised, going to school, getting a job, and going to college and working to support yourself, the idea of living off the land is foreign, especially if it's never been introduced into your psyche. So when I say that analyzing everything you are aware of, it's basically using every memory, every morsel of knowledge, and analyzing it in a true and unbiased. Unbiased meaning not determining absolute truths about it, because there is no such thing as absolute truths. Right and wrong exist in the mind of the beholder. So what's right for you and what's wrong for you is determined by your feelings, your spirit, what resonates in your spirit is right or wrong. But to be able to analyze it as in unbiased, as is to say that just because it is wrong for you does not mean it is wrong for somebody else. It is approaching everything from a non-judgmental and an unconditional, loving point of view. All of the truths that we learn will sometimes change, sometimes expand, sometimes grow, sometimes go completely in the opposite direction. Um, it is imperative that we use the tool of meditation and just quieting of the mind and not even listening. Um, I'm sorry, listening to the quietness of the mind and focusing on the quietness of the mind to determine what our truths are. As we become spiritually mature, we incorporate spiritual principles into our logical thinking, our rational decision making, our point of view, our unconditioning dissolution of the ego processes, are truths that we have held on to for a long time. When you begin this maturing process, a lot of the things that you thought were true, you will find out were not true. And the biggest key to spiritual maturity is not limiting yourself on what you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to think, because we are limitless creatures by nature that have been placed into societies based on limits. There are ways of thinking that are uninhibited, of knowing and that whatever you think, whatever you used to think, it is okay to think differently. Belief structures hold our thoughts into a locked position, and they do not give room to the expansion on that thought, the adding to that thought, and the changing of that thought. Belief structures are dangerous because it limits our capabilities and our thinking and our consciousness. When you are in an um, active condition of expanding your consciousness, you cannot limit yourself to beliefs. You cannot limit yourself to structures. You cannot limit yourself to self judgment of, I'm supposed to think this way. I'm supposed to learn it this way. It's supposed to be presented in this. I'm supposed to receive my material this way. When you limit your way of thinking, you limit your consciousness, you stunt your own spiritual maturity. This is why meditation is necessary, because it increases your spiritual maturity in your own natural state, which is the state of nothingness, the state of the void, the state of that which is without conditioning, preconceived notion, and ego. That is I want to add something, and it was something I wrote down all of the um after all of the aspects of spiritual maturity. It basically says, if you serve others, then you serve yourself, because we are all one in this creation. If you serve yourself, you serve others, because we are all one in this creation. There are some people out there that are truth seekers that seek the truth for themselves. There are some people out there that are truth seekers that seek the truth so they can spread the truth to other people. Neither way is wrong, because the illusion that they're all separate journeys is an illusion. We are all aspects of the consciousness of the divine mind. We are all aspects of one mind. We are different nerves and different pulses of the brain of the divine infinite creator. It is a network that affects each other as we affect ourselves. We have to begin to look at our individual journeys. And even though we are focusing on our individual journeys, at the same time, understand the bigger pictures of creation. While you're on your individual journey, your journey affects other people just like their journeys affect you. The reason why human beings are so polar opposites at times is because our creations, our existence on this planet is just the effects of our own individual creations affecting each other. When we learn that there is no such thing as separateness, there's no such thing as individualness, there all there is God, and all we are aspects of God. We are sent here to experience, to learn, to grow, to teach, and to live together. When we realize this, we will stop fighting each other. When we realize this, we will begin to learn to work together with harmony and universal law and realign ourselves with the harmony of God's creation. Peace and love.